Tottenham Hotspur are enjoying one of their best starts to a season ever, sitting third in the Premier League and top of their Champions League group. Antonio Conte has the fans believing that this might be the year they finally break their long trophy drought, though of course there are still some doubters that once again it will be a year without silverware at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. In today's two-season transformation, we try and win Spurs their first major honour since the League Cup back in the mid-noughties and take them to the next step in the Champions League. Of course, I went on record pre-season and said I do believe Spurs will end their major trophy drought this season, and I stand by it as well. The board in the first season are expecting that too. Reach the semi-final of the Champions League, finish in the top four, but win the FA Cup. And I really like Spurs' team as well. It's a 4.5-star team. It's brilliant going forward with Kane leading the line and Son on the left. But to me, the area of concern is definitely in the defence. No doubt about it. Too fragile, I'd say, in the back line. And I think majorly, we do need a centre-half. Definitely. But also, I think as well, we should sell Hugo Lloris. I think in season one, make a big decision. Sell Hugo Lloris, bring in a new goalkeeper, a new right back, and a new centre half as well. And we'll start with the centre half. Well, they've got Perisic from Inter in the summer. Why not his teammate, Milan Skriniar? And I'm not going to pay more than 50 mil for Skriniar. Deals that come at the end of the year, so I know I'm getting cheap. And 45 million is the fee. I love those players with 1 year left on their deal. You can just pick them up for absolute peanuts. And the contract agreed, 5 years, 83 grand a week. And Milan Skriniar will link up with Perisic under Conte once again. I think, again, for Spurs, that the main concern is defensively. You know they're going to get goals, man, with Kane up top. I know Son struggled this season, but even so, big fan of Kulusevski as well. But in the back line, you've got to say, right back, area of concern. Lloris, despite the captain for so many years, can be considered error prone, and of course the centre half as well, it needs strengthening, and it has. Skriniar is in, improves our defence significantly, I would say. And after a quick sale as Ben Davies goes to Leicester City for £16 million, I've got my new centre half, and now I want my new goalkeeper. Everyone knows Skipper Lloris is beloved at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, terrific shot stopper on his day, but as we know, can be a bit error prone. Aging in his mid-30s, we want someone a bit younger. Two names on the shortlist, and whilst I love Mike, once again, I'm going to look for that bargain deal. Jan Oblak. And I love what's going on here. Simeone is happy to take Lloris off my hands to soften the fee. I'm going to have to pay just a bit over 50 mil, which to me would be a bargain for one of the best shot stoppers in the world. 52 mil plus Lloris, and Oblak is going to come to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So contract agreed, 4 years, 92 grand a week. Lloris goes, Oblak arrives, and I'm buzzing with that. I know that Oblak is 29, but goalkeepers do tend to peak in their late 20s to early 30s, and I still think he's going to get even better. The Slovenian shot stopper is in, and again I think this guy is definitely going to be a much safer pair of hands. Jan, welcome. So I've just changed Tanganga's position from wing back to centre half, and he grew 4 ratings straight away. Honestly, guys, you're doing a Spurs career mode, you've got to do this, mate. He's not a wing back, he's a centre half. And speaking of right wing back, I've just sold 2 of them. Yeah, Matt Doherty is going to Napoli for £10 million. I really like Matt Doherty. I think he's really underrated, and a player that gets way too much criticism in my opinion. But also, speaking of players that get criticism, yep, Emerson Royal. He's going back to Real Betis. Had a loan spell there when he was in the Brazilian Serie A, and also when he signed for Barcelona as well. And now he's going there permanently for 27.5 mil. I think some of the Spurs fans would drive him to London Heathrow, to be honest. Yeah, Emerson is going back to Real Betis for £27.5 million as 2 of our right backs leave. So Jed Spence, the last man standing at right back, but I want to sign a new one. And after the sales go through and the season ticket money arrives, I'm going to bring in a new star right-sided wing-back, Achraf Hakimi of PSG. Not sure we'll have enough money though. PSG want over 60 mil, we ain't got that. 52.5 mil? Nah. Well, enough of the contract. I think the most we can do is 57.5 mil. Come on, PSG. 55 mil. 55 mil. There we go. 55 mil. And that'll be enough for the contract as well. And the contract agreed. 5 years, 70 grand a week. And the Moroccan international is in. Such an amazing talent. And because of the development plans in FIFA now, the fact his defensive stats aren't the best isn't a concern for me. We can get them up very quickly on a defensive wide back development plan. So Hakimi in, and the final piece of our puzzle, assembling our back line. And I couldn't help myself. I just made one final signing. Spurs have got 2 aging goalkeepers. We sold one in Lloris, but I had to get in a long-term success for the bench goalkeeper Fraser Forster. You know I love him, man. I sign him all the time in FIFA career mode. Etienne Green. Honestly, he's just the best young English goalkeeper available on a reasonably cheap transfer. He's in to replace Fraser Forster on the bench. So that'll do it. Our summer signings end there, and the last thing I did was tie up Harry Kane. Yep, going absolutely nowhere. Maybe not a 6-year contract, but even so, for sure now he's going to be ours until retirement, I'd say. So our team is done for the summer transfer window. I said the defense was my main area of concern. Skriniar in the back line, Hakimi at right back, all black now between the sticks, and a young goalkeeper to look out for, Etienne Green as well. We've improved the fragile back line. The question is, can we now deliver on the pitch? Asked to win the FA Cup, finish in the top 4 and reach the semi-finals of the Champions League. Tough objectives, but definitely doable. Let's see if we can do it and end that trophy drought. Come on, Spurs. So here we go, final run in, FA Cup and Champions League semi, and the FA Cup. Right. Oh, get it in 2 finals. Burnley, where did they come from? Oh, thank God, if we would have bottled that, my goodness. FA Cup in the cabinet, but now the Champions League final versus Atletico. Come on, Spurs. Oh! God! 4-0! 7th! 7th! Oh my God! What? That has got to be one of the most bizarre seasons ever. Carabao Cup lost in the semis to the eventual winners Liverpool. We did win the FA Cup. Had an amazing run too. We knocked out Chelsea in the 4th round, Watford in the 5th, but then Arsenal away at the Emirates in the 6th, Liverpool in the semi, and then beat Championship side Burnley in the final. But the Champions League, I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. I thought we were going to go all the way. We knocked out Real Madrid, we knocked out Liverpool, we knocked out Sporting in the semi, but humiliated in the final. Oh man, like I knew that we hadn't had a great league season, but I thought we might have just snuck 4th or possibly got 5th, but 7th. That was a killer. I don't know how you consider this season really, because I mean, we ended a trophy drought, but whilst we reached the Champions League final, it was a bit of an embarrassing loss to Atletico, and we finished in 7th, which means next year we go into the Europa League. I don't know how you define this season really, success or failure, I'm not entirely sure, but at least the trophy's in the cabinet, at least we've got some silverware, but for next season, no doubt about it, we've got to do better in the Premier League. 7th was embarrassing. Season 1 done, we got some silverware, but next year we're in the Europa League, and I need to make sure we win that as well. Goodness gracious me, what a wild season 1, bring on season 2. So, after a chaotic season 1, season 2 promises to be even more strange. Our objectives are to win the domestic double, win the Europa League, and we've got £214 million in our transfer budget. Blimey. Our team now up to 5-star after last year's growth of our new signings and the players we inherited as well. Kane, you might have noticed, went down a couple of ratings, so must have had a serious injury, but for the new season I definitely think, yep, another new centre-half. I'm bringing Kulusevski back as well, and a new star CM2. And with loads of players just 1 year left on their deal, including some players that came back from loan last season, it's time for a clear out here in North London. Perisic is retiring, but all of these guys are going to go, apart from Alfie Devine and Oliver Skip, academy graduates. Everyone else is going to go on the transfer list. It's time for a big clear out and a big summer of spending and selling. Lots of work to do, let's just get straight to it. So, first order of business, Dejan Kulusevski, returning but this time on a permanent deal. Got to bring him back. And a deal complete for the 23-year-old, 49 mil plus a minor sell-on clause for the Swede. I'm a big fan of Kulusevski. I watched him when he first burst onto the scene for Juve, and I knew the kid had talent. I think he fits Spurs like a glove as well. So Kulusevski returning, this time to stay for good. And now we've got our new right winger, it's time to get our new centre-half. And in Season 2, in this year's career mode, there's no one better value for money than this guy. Marquinhos of PSG. And the deal complete, 75 million for the Corinthians academy graduate from Roma to PSG and now to North London. Again, in Season 2, if you are one of the top teams, guys, just pick this guy up, man. I know he's 29, but don't be put off by that, man. He can still get a little bit better as a centre-half, and he's still got a few good years before he starts to show signs of decline. He's in to improve our backline even further. Marquinhos, welcome. Moving on, first two sales of the window, Ndombele's move never really worked out. He's now leaving on a permanent deal to Wolves for 23.4 mil. And also Eric Dyer is going to link up with Jose Mourinho once again, this time at AS Roma. Lars Reguilon's now came back from loan. I'm going to get a new left back as well. Theo Hernandez of Milan. And they want him as well, Sergio Reguilon, AC Milan, but they also want a ridiculous amount of money as well. 85 mil plus the Spaniard, go on Milan. Yep, there we go. That's a really expensive transfer, but one of the best left backs in the game, so I'm happy to pay it for the Frenchman. Massive transfer fee. Whilst Reguilon is good, Hernandez is better. One of the highest potential left backs in the game, and he is in for 85 mil. Plus Sergio. Theo arrives in North London. I said when we started to save off, the back line was my main area of concern. We've basically got an entire new back five now. Theo Hernandez in as our new starting left back. We turn our biggest weakness to our biggest strength. So a couple more sales as the clear out continues. Harry Winks is off to Union Berlin for £12 million, and Lucas Moura is going to go to Athletic Bilbao as well. So two more sales for two of our squad players, and now I am going to get that star central midfielder. Man, I love this guy. If you watched him play, you know how good he is. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. And the deal complete, £52.5 million for the Spanish-born Serbian international. This guy is literally just a tank, man, honestly. There is like no downside to this guy. Lazio fans are so happy to have him because, I mean, honestly, he's just like the complete midfielder. Defensively, solid. Carrying the ball, brilliant. Great pass and can shoot from distance. He is the perfect player to come in as part of our two-man CM duo. So now Milinkovic-Savic arrives. I think we've got just about enough money after the season ticket money coming in to make one final signing. But I will need to swap a player out if I'm going to get him. Harvey Barnes of Leicester City. Come on, Brendan. I haven't found a buyer for Sanchez, so I desperately need Rodgers to want the Colombian centre-half. Come on, mate. He's solid. He's a really good defender. No, not Basuma. I'm not letting you have Basuma, mate, but, oh, God. Who else can I give him? Well, I suppose it's going to have to be Skip, really, isn't it? They wanted Basuma, so Skip's a holding mid as well. The question is, will they be alright with a lesser quality player? 10 mil plus Skip. Yep, they'll take him, but they want a bit more money. I'll get him down to around 10.75 max, I think, and that should do it. 10.5 mil? Okay, 10.5 mil plus Skip. A reluctant swap. I'd rather not part ways with the academy grad, but got to do it in order to get Harvey Barnes in. Bit of a reluctant swap that. Didn't want to part ways with the academy graduate, but to be fair, we've got so much depth in CM, he was never going to play anyway. So Harvey Barnes is in to replace Lucas Moura as our new backup winger. You know I'm a big fan of the guy. I think he's so underrated. Good, quick, tricky feet, can shoot from distance, create out of nothing, and he's now in as our new impact sub for our winger position. So our team now complete after the summer signings. Huge money getting spent on Marquinhos, Hernandez, bringing back Kulusevski, Milinkovic-Savic as well. The question is, can we now deliver on the pitch? Asked to win a treble in Season 2. And one thing's for sure, we got to get back in the Champions League. Come on, you Spurs. Let's pick up some more honours and get back into big time for Season 3. No spoilers, but I think we might be on for a dub. We just lost to Forest, but we got a Europa League final against RB Leipzig. Yes, get in, which is a win. So no matter what, we're back in the Champions League. But for the league, I think we've won this. We've had a brilliant season. Oh, I just know. Second. Much better than last year, of course, but runners-up to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. Unlike last year, no domestic silverware, knocked out early in the Carabao Cup to Manchester City, who ended up going all the way to winning it. But in the FA Cup, well, it was a bit disappointing, really. Knocked out in the 6th round by Arsenal at the Emirates in the quarters. Last year, of course, we knocked them out at that stage at the Emirates to go on to win it. This year, they got their revenge. Aston Villa, however, won it on penalties. But for the Europa League, what a fantastic run it was to the final, as we ended up picking up up our first major European honour. We knocked out 2 Red Bull clubs in the process and Chelsea in a London derby in the semis as well. So I'll take that, back in the big time, and Europa League in the cabinet as well. And just like last season, it's one of those years where you look back on it in reflection and think, was it success or was it failure? Because, I mean, technically we failed both of our domestic objectives. We didn't retain our FA Cup and we didn't win the league title. But hey, last year we finished 7th. This year, back in the top 4, runners up to Liverpool. And to be fair, getting knocked out in the quarters to Arsenal away isn't exactly what you call embarrassing. But even so, Europa League in the cabinet, back in the Champions League for next year. And after so many years without a trophy, 2 major honours in 2 seasons. Yeah, perhaps we could have done a little bit better. We certainly could have done a lot worse as well. I'm happy with that for 2 seasons. I think we did really well here. So that'll do it for today's episode of 2-season transformation, guys. Really, we have enjoyed this episode. If you have, then please do drop a like. I definitely recommend Spurs for a FIFA career mode. It's been many years. Their last trophy came in 2008 in the League Cup. They would love to pick up some silverware, and they're a great team to build. Some decent young talent, but some aging players that need shifting on, and a wonderful, fabulous new stadium in the Tottenham Hotspur stadium. I'm so desperate to visit in real life as well. Definitely worth a go. Great London rivals, including the big North London rivals Arsenal as well, and well worth a FIFA career mode this year. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments what team we should transform next in 2 seasons. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of 2-season transformations very soon.